been cold out. Uncharacteristically, unusually. So I've been getting a lot of sleep. And I woke up at like 8 o'clock tonight and I'm like, get the fuck out of bed. All I could think of was like sloth. You know, God doesn't like sloth. He doesn't like you laying in there in bed all day. I'm talking to myself about it. And he's like, God doesn't care about that stuff. That's usually what I'm saying all the time. You know, God doesn't care if you listen to fucking The Damned or Duran Duran. He's a cosmic fucking being. You know, a lot of people always want to try to tell you what you're doing wrong, or how God's mad at you because of what you wear, or, you know, these trivial things that you do. I try to tune that shit out. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you know? So night before last, I'm in my house. And it's like 3:30 in the morning. Dina, already? I heard it. Is it back here? Oh, I think it was just people fucking around. Okay. I was like, wow, that was quick, you know. I'm sitting in my room, and I'm watching something on YouTube, and suddenly I start seeing these traces out of the corner of my eye, of my right eye, like over on this side. And it's like this real weird wave, like a color, right? It looks almost like those like little, used to have them in a place called Spencer's Gifts. They had these little globes with a ball in them. And the ball had these little electric light things that looked like, I forget how to explain it. I'll try to find a picture of it. But it was like that kind of energy, except it was, they were multicolored. Like, I couldn't look at this straight on, because when I moved my eyes to look at it, it would move to the corner of my peripheral vision. So if it's over here, when I turn to look at it, it goes over here, you know? And it's just, it's pulsing, it's very active, it's moving, it's just like what the fuck is that? So, I'm thinking maybe it's because I've been awake too long, but I hadn't been awake too long. I was awake the normal amount of time I usually am. Maybe, you know, I used to be on Adderall for like years and years. And when I was first getting my prescription, it was like I had already been off it for 2 weeks, because what happens is I would just take way too much of it. I would abuse it, of course, like everybody does. So I'd be really hyper for 2 weeks and then like run out of it. So whenever I'd get back on it, yeah, I would sometimes stay up for a couple of days. So I'd been up for a couple of days in the past, looking at my phone. Never had this happen before. I was like, what is this, right? So it's very active, jumping around, moving around. And some people just walk right in and it's like they don't see you. Maybe they don't. So I put the phone down because I'm like, oh, it must be my eyes. Although, you know, I've seen traces of things before. You know, like when your eyes get tired and they make kind of things, they make optical kind of illusions. This wasn't like that. It was like something independently happening that wasn't had anything to do with me, my eyesight or anything. So I put the phone down, laid down, closed my eyes. It's still going on. It's still going on, just like pulsing, moving, racing. All these kind of weird energy lines and energy pulses, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And it's made up of all these different strands. Point being, fucking, this goes on for a while and then stops. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird, right? So then I go back a little while later and I pick up the phone again. And I'm watching stuff. I kind of forget about it. And as I'm watching, it looks like on the screen, there were these two wheels in the middle, almost like a cassette tape. And I thought it was on the film, and I'm like, is that in the background of the video, whatever I'm watching? And no, because one of them is on the screen, one's turning here, they're like pinwheels. They look like the Etch-a-Sketch kind of flower, almost like the flower of life. In fact, that's what it looked like. Looked like the flower of life. So then all of a sudden, it just comes off the screen. It just drips off the screen. And then goes, whoop, and goes right over to this side of my face, and then it repeats. That stuff that was happening in my right eye is now happening in my left eye, and it's getting more pronounced and more solid and moving faster. And when I'm, it's in my peripheral again, so I can't look straight at it. Nice Iron Maiden shirt. And but it's very active. It's fucking crazy. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm thinking maybe it's the Wi-Fi, even though I was using data. Could be something. So what I did is I put my phone. Oh, I was wearing headphones this whole time anyway, just for the sake of whatever. And so I go and I put the phone down, and I take yeah. I'll give you a share, man. You want one too, man? Oh no, you don't have to buy one. No.
Actually, I don't.
You want one? No, good. Okay, have a good night. What? Yeah. There you go, man. Have a good night, guys.
Yes, sir.
There. Well, these guys are dressed in winter clothing. Yeah, they look like island guys, though. I don't think they were new mainlanders. A lot of new mainlanders wear winter clothes. So now it's over in this eye. So I leave the phone down, right? And I go out and I go into the bathroom. I keep the headphones on. So now I'm looking in the mirror to see if I can see it in the mirror, right? But it's still there, but it feels like it's between me and the mirror. It's fucking really weird. And it's just increasing in strength. It's just like fucking going up. All on my left side now, nothing on my right side. The phone is out in the other room, so I'm like, it must be something with the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is scrambled or letting me see this shit, So, before I figure out that it has something to do with my headphones, which I think it did, I go and I sit in the room and just sit down and try to interact with it, try to look at it. And I can't, I'm like, in vain putting my hand in it through it. It's like in between you and whatever the screen. It's like see where my hand is between what you're watching in the background here. It's like that. It's like so take the headphones off, put the phone and the headphones across the room. I shut them all off, and I go and lay down. This continues in my left eye, on the corner of my left eye, like spaghetti. It's like those electrode things. It's just like that. That Spencer Gift thing that I'll put a picture of. So anyway, finally this stops. Kind of all at once, it just stops, goes off. So I next morning Nia wakes up and I tell her all this, and she's used to me telling her crazy shit because, my whole life is fucking crazy shit. So, and she's seen some of it with me, so she doesn't doubt me that, and besides, what a weird thing to have happened, it's just like some odd thing. She's like, what the fuck is that? And she agreed with me it was probably the Bluetooth, okay? Because when I put everything down, turned it off, it stopped, And what I started thinking about was perhaps, it made me think of the double slit experiment, where when a particle knows it's being viewed or measured, it will stop moving. This is an old theoretical physics idea where if you're not looking at something, it's not going to be there. Right now I can see all this in front of me, but behind me is nothing. It's just all like, it's just like what was going on in the corners of my eye. I used to think what it would look like is like a snow from a TV screen. Like when you have a TV channel off, it would just be all snowy, But I think what I was seeing was what you see when you're not looking at it. Somehow the corners of my eyes was able to pick up what reality looks like when you're not looking straight at it. And the Bluetooth was somehow enabling me to do this. That's the best thing I could come up with, but if anybody else has ever had anything like this, or have any idea what it could have been, let me know. Pretty crazy shit. I tried to see if it would happen again last night, but I fell asleep before like that. It was funny too, because it was like the witching hour. 3 o'clock, or a little past 3. It's when all the weird shit happens. If you're gonna do weird shit, that's usually an hour to do it between. Unless, and this is just my theory, unless when it becomes 3:33, there can be a break in it, a reprieve, because that's an angel number. So you're safe for a minute. So there's 1 minute in witching hour that you could escape the dungeon, and it's 3:33. But yeah, pretty fucked up shit. I've never seen anything like it before. It didn't feel supernatural. That's the whole thing. Like, as someone who's had like supernatural experiences, whatever you want to call it, it didn't feel like that. It felt like it was a mechanical error or some kind of glitch or just some kind of. It felt mechanical. It felt like something that was part of the system or part of the everyday mechanics of what's going on around us, and for whatever reason, the Bluetooth waves, because it had to do with the Bluetooth, because once I turned it off, it would be fine, you know. So yeah, I think that's what I was seeing. But I always imagine, like, you know, that whole theory about if you're not looking at it, it's not there, you know. It's a, you know, old physics thing. But I always imagined it like, and I've talked about this many times, like right now, right behind you, behind your head that you can't see, it's all snow. It's just all static, you know, because it's you only see things, you can only see stuff if you're looking at it. If you're not looking at it, it's not there. It's just part of, you know, whatever frequency goes on. It doesn't have to form itself. It's almost like a way of saving rendering space or something, like in a video game. You know, they don't, that fucking building down there, 3 blocks down, it doesn't have to be fully rendered for me because I'm not there. If I went down there, this sidewalk here wouldn't be here. That's the theory, you know. And I've always been behind that. I've gotten with that, but I always assumed when you weren't looking at stuff, like as in the double slit experiment, it would just be static. That's just what I, you know, assumed. I don't know why. But it's probably more likely that it would have a lot of like all different colors moving through it, because everything here is, you know, it's very colorful. It's not black and white here. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. I held off running into the bathroom to talk about it because I was like, let me think about this first for a while before I run in there and make one of those old bathroom videos where I run in at 3 in the morning and go, listen, you guys, the sun is the moon at night. I didn't want to do one of those, so I'll save those right here. Yeah, that'll be my walking Waikiki, sun is the moon at night video. And when you walk in Golden Halls, when you walk in Golden Halls, you get to keep the gold that falls. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.